Hi, we are talking retinoids and we're going to be discussing retinoids from the Minimalist Retinoid 2%. Along with this, I'm also going to be discussing things that you need to know about retinoid, why retinoids are great for your skin, the dangers of using retinoids carelessly, and what is the best practice to use retinoids. And we're going to be comparing this retinoid with the retinoid from the ordinary. So it's going to be a little long video with a lot of information. I suggest you get your pen and paper out because retinoids need to be used very responsibly and you might need to take some notes. Let's get started. Retinoids is a very big topic, but more than anything else, retinoids come with responsibility. It's like when you've been given this fantastic car which has got so much of power, which you can enjoy if you drive responsibly, but if you get a little careless, you could result in a really bad accident. And that is a point that I am going to be reinforcing all through this video, that yes, enjoy using retinoids. They are the most brilliant thing in your skincare, but we got to enjoy retinoids responsibly. So let's get started. The first thing I want to discuss before we get into the products is what retinoids are and why they should be a part of your skincare. Retinoids are the only ingredient in skin and beauty which have been studied extensively and scientifically to understand the effect of retinoids on our skin. And retinoids can transform your skin. They're literally that one magic bullet which can have a dramatic effect on your skin. So retinoids actually improve the skin cell turnover. Our skin cell turnovers goes from 20-25 days when we are young in our 20s to around 60 to 70 days when we are old, like I am. So for someone like me, retinoids are really needed if I want to keep my skin healthy. However, when you're in your 25, in your 30s, retinoids can still be a great thing to include in your skincare. Retinoids can delay the onset of wrinkles if you start them early enough. If you have wrinkles, and even if you have like deep wrinkles, they can smoothen the wrinkles out. They can help you with pigmentation. They can lighten pigmentation. They can remove pigmentation. They can work when you have acne. They can also work with uneven skin tone. Retinoids can also be great for you if your skin is not very healthy and very weak, because they actually work by increasing the elastin and collagen in our skin. Now, both of these, elastin and collagen, are the building blocks of skin. So when you have a healthy elastin and healthy collagen, your skin stays more taut, it stays more hydrated, and is more flush. So retinoids are great for all of that. The most important thing with retinoid is that they are fantastic for pigmentation care, delaying the onset of aging or improving the wrinkles, and making your skin smoother and softer and hydrated. This is not to say or anything to point out that it's wrong to grow old. I don't want someone to come into the comment section and say, hey, you are against old. I'm not. I am old. Okay, so if I'm not saying that don't become old or don't look old, but hey, if you don't want your wrinkles to show, retinoid is a great thing to include in your skincare. I do enjoy using retinoid because it really improves the quality of your skin and make it healthier. And when you have a healthy skin, you have a healthy skin barrier, your skin is able to fight off acne better. It doesn't get pigmented so easily and looks fresh and bright. And I definitely enjoy that, and I'm guessing some of you do too. So a great thing to introduce in your skincare is retinoids. Now, what is the downside of using retinoids? Retinoids increase the danger of our skin getting burnt due to UV radiation or when it's exposed to sun. And that is where the downside is. If you're not religious or not fanatic about your sunscreen, retinoids can cause lasting damage on your skin. And that is something that is where responsibility comes in very strongly. So enjoy the benefits of retinoids, but make sure that you're also invested in good sunscreen care. If you're doing that, I can promise you that you'll get your best skin with the use of retinoid in your skincare. Before we get into the product comparison as well as discussing both the products, I'm going to be sharing a picture with you which is of one of my clients. She has graciously agreed to share a picture because she really wants to be a part of this conversation about why retinoids are to be used with a lot of care. She's been with me for a few months now, and when she came to me, her skin had a lot of pigmentation. This pigmentation came from various reasons, but also became worse because she was taking treatment for the pigmentation. And when you take treatment for the pigmentation, at a cosmetic doctor's place, they do recommend dermabrasion and lasers for you, which you need to do when you have very bad pigmentation. However, the problem is that dermabrasion and lasers can make pigmentation worse also. So before you get into this all drama of looking after your skin, getting it back from pigmentation, and it's a long process to heal your skin back from pigmentation. I know, I've had melasma. So I suggest that instead of going there, just be careful when you start using retinoids. If you're careful, you won't have to face any of these things. So make sure you go slow, wear your sunscreen, and listen to your skin. This picture might be a little harsh for you guys, but I need you to be aware of the damage that retinoids can cause. On this picture, you can also see the damage and how the damage loop starts on your skin. There's irritation on the skin, there's inflammation, the granulocytes or the melanocytes get activated and they come to the surface of the skin. And as they're moving up to the surface of the skin, the melanin starts getting deposited, and that's what we see as pigmentation. And here on you can see my client's face. The difference that the treatment has made in the last few weeks to her skin, it's definitely improving, but it's a very long process and it takes time. Now let's discuss the retinoid from the Ordinary as well as from the Minimalist. Both of these products are using a new age retinoid called HPR, or hydroxypinacolone retinoid. It's a new age retinoid and has been recently discovered. It doesn't have the same amount of study that the Retin A has or tretinoin has. So yes, it does improve the signs that we discussed earlier about pigmentation, scarring, improving the texture of your skin, improving the fine lines and wrinkles, but not as dramatically as a tretinoin would. However, it's a very good product to use because it's much safer than tretinoin. Talking about safety, even though this product is available without prescription in India, and it was available without prescription all over the world, in Canada, this has been withdrawn. Even for HPR today, just like tretinoin or Retin A, you require a prescription in Canada. Which brings to bear that we all need to understand that yes, it's a great product, but it needs to be used responsibly. So both the retinoids from Minimalist as well as the Ordinary are great in themselves as long as you use them responsibly. Let's first discuss the product from the Ordinary. The retinoid from the Ordinary has a number of ingredients. I have left out at least 10% of them out because just for space and better understanding of the ingredients. Along with these ingredients, I've also highlighted some of the ingredients which are the star ingredients that are going to be great in this formulation and are really good for our skin. The first thing is glycerin. Glycerin is a very good ingredient to see in our skincare because it's really hydrating and it's actually skin identical ingredient. That means our skin really loves this ingredient. So great ingredient right there. Then it has bisabol, which is a great skin nourisher. Then it has the HPR that we discussed, hydroxypinacolone retinoid, the new age retinoid. And then it also has retinol, which is again a great superstar. It also has Rosmarinus officinalis or rosemary, which is great as a microbial or antibacterial for your skin, which is really good when you're using a retinoid. It also has hydroxymethoxyphenyl decanone, which is again soothing antioxidant, which is required in a product like this so that your skin doesn't get too irritated or inflamed. It has 4 preservatives. It's got I've highlighted those in green: dihydroacetic acid, benzoic acid, ethyl hexyl glycerin, as well as phenoxyethanol. Now, ethyl hexyl glycerin and phenoxyethanol are ingredients that can be a little irritating to the skin, especially if you have a lot of sensitivity or if you have dry, irritated skin. But they are used in very less concentration in this particular setup. So the thought is that they won't irritate your skin too much. I think when you're trying new products, it's very important to listen to your skin, irrespective of what the product has. If your skin gets irritated, inflamed, it gets itchy or sensitive, it could be a sign that your skin is not adjusted to the product. So listening to the skin, I think, is still the best way to handle a new product. So now let's move to the Minimalist. The Minimalist starts with the aloe vera juice, which is great in your skincare. Especially now with the retinoid, I think it's a brilliant move because it definitely will help dull or help ease the irritation or inflammation that a retinoid can bring. However, keep in mind this is not like a aloe vera thick extract and juice. This is like a hydrosol. A hydrosol will have all the good qualities of aloe vera, and therefore it's going to be fairly well tolerated by most skin types. So even if you're allergic to aloe vera, you definitely do a patch test before you begin this product, but chances are very low that you'll actually be irritable to this particular ingredient, the aloe juice in this product. Then it also has HPR, it's a new generation retinoid. It doesn't have additional retinol in this, but it has tocopherol, which is a synthetic vitamin E. Vitamin E is again great for skin, especially in this particular formulation because it'll help soothe all the irritation and inflammation that retinoid might bring. It has phenoxyethanol and it has ethyl hexyglycerin. Both of these are preservatives, and your skin, if they're irritable to these particular preservatives, can be a little irritable to this particular layout because they are again a little higher in the ingredient list. Now when we compare both the Minimalist and the Ordinary together, side by side, we see they're fairly well balanced for good products and star products between the two of them. The ingredient list in the Minimalist is a little small or shorter as compared to the Ordinary for sure. But that doesn't really mean that it's any less effective to the Ordinary at all. In my experience, it worked just as well. Only stark difference between the retinoid from the Minimalist and the Ordinary is that the Ordinary has an additional retinol in it. So I would think that it might be a smarter move to add the retinol because HPR's effects have not been studied as extensively as the retinoic acid or tretinoin has been done. So if you see the retinoid map, you kind of understand the different power that each of these retinoids have. Now, retinoids is an umbrella term, and underneath that you get lots of vitamin A variations, retinoid variations, as you see over here. If you see right on top is tretinoin or retinoic acid, then you have the retinol, retinal, and then you have the retinol, and then you have the retinyl acetate and few more variations. HPR is touted right next to tretinoin. So the hope is that HPR will deliver the same kind of results that the retinoic acid does. So the Minimalist retinoid. I've used the ordinary retinoid long back, and the difference or the experience with the Minimalist was not too different from the ordinary retinoid, honestly. Now we have it. Okay, so it's a little grainy. You can feel a little bit of grain when you're putting it onto your face, and apart from that, I didn't feel any difference. I think I did have the same grainy feeling when I was using the ordinary as well. But other than that, there was actually no difference at all. So when you apply this the first time, you might feel a little bit of tingling, a little bit of burning, and if you have some areas which are very sensitive, you might feel a little extra burning and irritation in that area. Barring the first 2 to 3 minutes, you just got to power through, and you're going to be all right after that. You just need a very little amount. Start small and then increase the quantity as you work into it. Just make sure that you avoid your eye area. It's good to go around the eye area. A smarter thing to do is to have your eye cream on, so the cream kind of forms a kind of a barrier so that the product doesn't travel across to your eye. Have the cream here, have the cream in this area, and have the cream around your lips, because these areas can be more sensitive to the retinoid as compared to any other product. And post that, you're pretty much good, and get ready for the magic. In about 3 weeks, in fact almost in the first 2 weeks, you'll find your skin getting softer and smoother, and in about 4 weeks time you should definitely see a lot of difference on your skin. It's going to look brighter, it's going to look smoother for sure, and you might even get a glow. I love retinoids, I love acids. I just want to add here that the advisory on the Minimalist side, and I think even on the Ordinary, is that you can use this product every single day. I'm not so sure. I would definitely recommend about thrice a week and not more than that. I would suggest you meet a dermatologist and get it checked by the doctor before you start using it more than 3 times a week. Let's now move on to how do you introduce the retinoids into your skin. Retinoids need to be introduced in a very slow and a phased manner if you want best results and you want the least amount of damage to your skin. Keep in mind, retinoids are the magic bullet for your skin if you use them carefully. So introduce them in the first week, use it once a week, see how your skin reacts to it. Ideally, you should have no irritation, no inflammation, and no broken skin. If there is absolutely no reaction, in the second week, use it twice a week. And then watch your skin, again for the same signs. In the next week, that is after 2 weeks of using it twice a week, in the third week, introduce it 3 times a week and stay at 3 times a week for some time. Over here, you need to use your discretion whether you want to increase it to every day or you want to keep it at 3 weeks. My recommendation would be 3 kafi hai, but I'll leave it to your better judgment. As you're using this retinoid, keep in mind these few points. Number 1 point, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. You have to use sunscreen according to the protocol. Use it 20 minutes before you step out. If you're out in the hot sun, make sure you have a hat which has a long brim that covers your face. And stay out of the hot sun if you can. If you feel your skin burning and irritating, make sure you're able to wash off your skin immediately so that you cool it down, because when our skin heats up a lot, it also gets more prone to pigmentation. So just keep that in mind. Ideally, don't step out before 5 o'clock if you can, but if you need to, stay out of the direct sun for sure. The second thing, if you have one retinoid in your skincare, please make sure that you go through all the ingredients of all the other products that you're using. Ideally, you should have no other retinoid or retinol in your skincare if you have one retinoid. Third thing, when you use retinoid, make sure your skin is completely dry. Water neutralizes retinoids. The fourth thing, you cannot use retinoids when you are pregnant, breastfeeding, or planning to get pregnant. Retinoid has been known to create birth defects. It's known to pass through the breast milk to the child. It can cause a lot of damage. The last thing, retinoid should be used with vitamin C. You will hear a lot of conflict over here as well. You will hear people saying that retinoids should not be combined with vitamin C at the same time and they should always be used separately. There are 2 schools of thoughts. One is that if you have very dry skin, sensitive skin, or damaged skin, it's probably better to separate the vitamin C and retinoid. So the day you're using retinoid, don't use vitamin C, the same routine. Use vitamin C the next day morning. However, if your skin is completely healthy, you could use them together. There is no hard and fast rule around that. But definitely use vitamin C in the morning, because vitamin C prevents photo damage, or in other words, it prevents sun damage. You must include vitamin C with your retinoid when you start including it into your skincare. If I were to rate the product, I would rate both the products 4.5. They're both great retinoids in and of itself. If you have any questions around the retinoids or the usage, please feel free to write into us, either DM or send an email. I may not be very punctual returning them as fast as I would like to, but I will definitely get back to you. With this, we come to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and do share with anybody who is starting a retinoids. As I've been going on like a parrot for the past video, I'm going to say it all over again. This is a fabulous ingredient to have in your skincare. Just make sure that you're responsible in the way you use it. I would say that if the brand is listening, which it really is, and I have a video coming on in my experience with that I had with the brand in communication, and I have to say that I'm a little surprised, but happily surprised. So 2 things. One, definitely the advisory for retinoid needs to go up front with the product, because the advisory is there on the page that when you're pregnant or you're breastfeeding, you shouldn't be using it. But I'm not sure how many consumers actually go down to your, towards the lower part of the page and actually read the advisory. And second thing, if they could have a look at the dropper, because sometimes the experience is that the dropper doesn't collect the amount that you're looking for. A very minimal thing, and I'm sure I'm nitpicking here, but hey, why not? As always, please do let me know what else you would like to know about and how the videos are going for you. If there's any feedback, thank you so much for all the love and support via your DMs and emails. It matters that this content makes a difference in anybody's life. Till I meet you next time, be good to your skin and hair. Ciao. And use the Minimalist. It's a great retinoid.